Hello everybody and welcome to another one of those videos about Dwarf Fortress. This time I'm doing something a little bit different. We're going to do a feedback session. So up until now I've always just kind of covered the screenshots and various other things that have been released, and I've done a few opinion pieces in the past, like one on why I don't use DF Hack and why I don't use DF Therapist, which you can go watch if you want. But I've wanted to do this kind of feedback session for a little bit, and the most recent screenshot of the bridge really kind of solidified in my brain what exactly I wanted to talk about and my problems with the Steam's tile set. So let's dive right in. So this is the screenshot that they released. Now if we zoom in here on the bridge, you can tell that it's on the same Z level as the indoor area. We know this, right? Well, we're missing a lot of shading in a few places, and I've started to I like the ramps that they have here. Don't get me wrong, I think they look nice, but there's something that kind of bothers me about them in two spots on this screenshot. Let me grab some other tile sets and show you what I mean. This is Caves of Cud, a game that I hold very dear to my heart. Now, if you look at how they do the indoor sections, there's kind of this angular look to the walls on the inside. It gives us a sense of perspective and depth. This is something that the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress's tile set is not doing, and it's really started to bother me. We jump back over to Steam DF now, you can see the indoor section. We're missing that depth. Especially strange is the fact that the tables are actually seen at a slight angle, same with the doors and the lever over on the left. This gives them the impression of almost floating. It looks very off to me. Also, the fact that they're missing shadows is very strange. And I'm really curious as to why they went this route instead of going with the more isometric angled look. This is the tile set I use when I'm playing Dwarf Fortress. It's a modified version of Kruggsmash's tile set, who you should know and watch. And frankly, I think that this is a much more perspectively easy way to look at Dwarf Fortress. Yes, we have the ramps on the top and the left, as you can see, which in the Steam version are a flat pathway, which is fine, but you still have that perspective giving you an angled look. Here is the vanilla version for contrast. Still using my colors, but it gives you an example of a side-by-side of what the game looks like in vanilla. You still have that weird, almost angled look to the walls, even though they're flat ASCII. Another example is Mef's tile set, which is used primarily for Masterwork Dwarf Fortress, which also has the angled look to the walls, giving this fortress a little bit of depth and gives you the player a sense of size and scale alongside of the beds and furniture. Another thing that has started to bother me alongside of the lack of depth in the buildings are the ramps in the bottom right. The ramps fill up the entire tile. I've never really quite imagined them this way. Perhaps this is just me, but I always thought there would be a little bit more space. Here is a mock-up made by somebody on my Discord named Gimmper. I'll link a screenshot to his full post in the description if you'd like to see it, and I'll also pin it in the comments. But this is a mock-up of what we could have for depth in the walls and a way of making the ramps look a little bit less massive. And here lastly is a side-by-side of the new and old ramps that Gimmper put together in his mock-up. In the bottom right, you can see a slightly brought back, slightly more refined version of the current ramps, which are on the right. Also on the left, we can see some ideas on how we could have depth in the walls. Obviously, you'd need to push them in a little bit, but I think this might be a way to give a sense of depth to the actual housing units themselves and the indoor portions of the fort. Now comes that kind of obligatory segment at the end where I say, so what do you think? This is a very small set of ideas and a very small set of posts, but it's something that I feel is kind of important to talk about. I know I've seen a few people discussing the issues with depth and the seemingly floating tables and the unfinished look of some of the wall pieces, especially the bridge shown in the most recent screenshots. What do you guys think? Do you guys like the way the walls look? Do you like the way the ramps look? Would you like to see changes or edits made? Currently, the Steam version is still in flux, everything is unfinished, and there is still time that things could be edited, or alternatively modded after the fact. I'm curious what you guys think. Are you happy with the way they are? Personally, I more or less am, and would take it as is currently. However, I would like to see a little bit more depth on the indoors, and I would like to see some more shadows, and I would like to see those ramps brought back just a little bit. I'd love to know down in the comments section. Cheers. Been twiddling my thumbs to try and figure out how to make this video for a while. If you like the sound of my voice and want to see more of it, I stream Dwarf Fortress a whole lot over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BLINDIRL. You can also find all the VODs from Dwarf Fortress on this YouTube channel, as well as other updates on the Steam version of Dwarf Fortress. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Oh, if you want to support me directly, I have a Patreon as well. $1 a month goes a long way. $2 a month gets you into the credits of these videos down in the description. Thanks for watching.